Good day, everybody in the Red Team Village world, and we are broadcasting live for Red Team Village, and I'm excited to bring you a whole list of guests tonight. I'm hopeful that y'all are able to see our live broadcast, share it with the world, and we're looking forward to being the biggest year for Red Team Village that we've had. So without further ado, I'm Traveler, and welcome again to Red Team Village. Tonight's view is going to be with a few different guests. We've got Laz Slayer coming in from Optiv. We've got Smoke from Monroe. We've got Dsync, Caveman, NOP researcher, Wolf, Omar, and myself to close out.
Hey everyone.
Laz Slayer, welcome.
Hey everyone, my name is Laz Slayer. We're kind of going to be going into like different discussion phases. So for mine is going to be enumeration. So I guess the first question is, where did I get my handle? So it's actually a good question. I would say like in 2019, I was between Cyberstaff and Laz Slayer. My last name is Lozera, so I thought Laz Slayer sounded cooler. Because whenever I was like in 6th grade, that was my gamer tag that I used whenever I used to play Xbox way back in the day. So I went with Laz Slayer. I would say my primary like skill set is always kind of, I just love social engineering, but right now it's cloud pen testing. I feel like that any skills across any of the areas in cybersecurity can be transferred to others. Obviously, with like social engineering, doing a lot of digging and finding things out about the company from a personnel aspect. So kind of taking those skills and transferring them to the cloud side. There's a lot of, it's a very large attack surface for anything that is in the cloud. So being able to enumerate an organization's attack surface from an external perspective, you can kind of take those skills and transfer them over there. For our last question, it's on a scale of 1 to 10, how I would rate my dogs. They are an absolute 100. So if anyone tells you otherwise, they don't know what they're talking about. My dogs are amazing. And that's it. We're going to go to Smoke Monroe next.
All right. Well, thanks, Laz. So what I've got from Laz Slayer, she was eloquently displaying some of her skill set. And so we're going to put that up for everybody to see a little bit of.
Oh, my God. As I do love snowboarding as well.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, so we're going to bring in some Dsync. Dsync, welcome to the room. And Laz Slayer, thank you very much for coming in. Thanks for telling us a little bit about yourself. And I'm looking forward to everything you're going to bring to the table for Red Team Village this year.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, Traveler, how you doing?
Dsync, I've never been more nervous.
Yeah.
But I'm doing all right.
Hey, it's not bad. It's just a small crowd out there. Just wait till you have to stand up and do it in person. Honestly, in person's a little bit easier for me, where I can look people in the eye. My name is Dsync. I'm the treasurer for the Red Team Village. Last year, you may have seen me at the info booth or organizing the volunteers. So I've been around for a couple of years now, helping out. We'll go right on into your Q&A there. So my handle is literally just my name, Dsync. So there's nothing super creative behind it. Let's see, what else do you have? My primary focus and skill set, I'm actually half InfoSec and half Linux sysadmin. I do a little bit of both right now. What I do professionally is design HPC environments for researchers, especially ones who get grants from the federal government and things like that. So How this helps with enumeration is a lot of times I'm going in and I'm consulting with these researchers about existing systems that they've set up. And half the time, what they've got running is something a grad student set up for them 5 or 6 years ago, minimal documentation. So in some ways, I use the tools and techniques that I learn and that we teach in the Red Team Village to not only to discover, but to harden some of our existing assets at the institution I work at, but also as I'm designing new environments and bringing in newer technologies, I use the tools and techniques to set up a set of criteria that I evaluate all new technologies in before putting into our environment. So it's a pretty comprehensive process, but what I learned in the Red Team Village has been an invaluable part of moving forward in my career.
Dsync, thanks for telling us a little bit about yourself, but I've got a question from the board for do you believe in ghosts?
Do I believe in ghosts? No, not personally, but my fiance is a big believer.
Okay. So what would scare you since you don't believe in ghosts?
Oh, scare me? Let's see here. I will say whenever I watch horror films with her, she loves horror films. I hate jump scares. So those do give me a big fright. I do not like them.
My personal favorite for things that scare me is a CEO with an admin account.
Oh no. Yeah. A director with domain admin. Those are always fun.
Yes. We did a incident response 2 weeks ago where the CEO was a cowboy gunslinger, loved IT, and he just set up new boxes all the time. And occasionally he would set up one without any access, but he gave one public access for a website and no security whatsoever. And somebody walked right in.
I am sadly too familiar with that tale.
Yeah. So somebody did their enumeration and just waited for the ports to open. So,
sure.
Well, Dsync, thanks for spending some time with us. I'm glad that you're the treasurer, that you spend time focusing on the money, because God only knows I'm terrible with it.
Hey, it truly does take a village to make this happen. And, Defcon isn't free. So, we appreciate all of our sponsors. They're a huge help in helping us put on the conference every year, along with some of the other things that we do. We really couldn't do it without the support of our sponsors.
Absolutely. And if anyone listening or anybody out there would like to sponsor Red Team Village for this year's event at Defcon 31, then the link is below. Click on it, fill it out, send us your money. We'd love to take it. If you don't send us your money, we're Red Team. We can get it a different way, but we're ethical. So, all right, Dsync, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Smoke in just a second, and have a great night.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Have a good evening.
Hey, everybody. Good evening.
Smoke, good evening to you. I'm glad you're able to join us. How's traffic?
It's South Florida, so traffic is horrendous, and we're pretty much near a very close hurricane type weather. It's been pouring rain. The streets are flooded, so Miami got an extra beach this week.
Okay. Well, with that extra beach, there's a law saying that it's open carry something in Florida again.
Basically, yeah, as of July, open list, no permit, open carry. So it's going to be really interesting to see how traffic goes. We already get Florida man stories for all types of things, including shooting at each other on the highway. So now that everyone's armed, we'll see.
It'll be fun. So how'd you get your handle, Smoke?
So my handle actually is a combination of random names that friends have given me. So I have like a crazy obsession with Marilyn Monroe. So they ended up calling me Monroe. But my fiance is obsessed with Green Arrow. And so the resident girl hacker on that show is called Felicity Smoke. So combine those together, Smoke Monroe came about.
There you go. Well, I'm glad that they came up with some good names for you, and you stick with them, you keep them strong. So, so here's the question for you. What's your skill set that you're bringing to the table for Red Team Village?
So my skill sets is that I'm really adept in research. So really trying to understand everything from analysis all the way to assessment, but also bringing that research into communications. I don't know about you or everyone else watching, but oftentimes there's always a dysfunction between security and the business. So trying to create some kind of security business analyst role where I can kind of act as a translator of sorts is really my strongest skill sets. And I'm hoping to bring that to the Red Team Village so that we can, one, get more sponsors, so shameless plug, but also get some more volunteers and get some more interaction within our village. That's really what I'm hoping to get out of this and hoping to see what the goal is.
Well, that's I'm glad you're able to be with us this year. And with your help, we'll be able to communicate to everybody what's going on with Red Team Village throughout the next few months leading up to Defcon, so that Defcon 31, we have facilitated lines to get people in. We do have some ideas for LineCon this year, so surprises are not going to be given, but surprises are going to be planned. But thank you for spending some time and fighting traffic without firing on anybody today.
I don't know about tomorrow, but today I was strong today. And I just want to let everyone know that my goal as coordinating social media is I really hope for it to be a little bit of edutainment, so a little bit of providing some education, some tidbits, but ultimately be really entertaining as well. So I'm really looking for some interaction, so don't be afraid to interact with us, ask us questions, see how we can augment our programs. We're here to build collaboration, so that's really what I'm looking forward to.
Oh, thank you. All right. So, Smoke, what I'd like to ask you last is a little heart to heart.
Okay.
What do you enjoy doing on your weekends?
Well, it used to be sleep, but I fill up my calendar so much that sleep is a little bit overrated. So honestly, some of the things I like to do over the weekend is crazy enough. I like to do aerial silks, so like the Silk du Soleil type of stuff. I find that if I'm physically in pain, then I don't have to worry about the other stuff that I have to deal with. But it's also kind of a fun workout as well.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're able to keep it fit and enjoy something that brings you entertainment and possibly other people.
Yeah.
Smoke, thank you again for coming in, spending some time with us. And I'm going to go ahead and get it over to our next guest, who unfortunately couldn't be here in person, but it is some AI responses. So thank you. Bye, Smoke.
You. Bye.
All right. So something about cybersecurity that everybody's been discussing lately is artificial intelligence. Everybody loves it. Everybody's enjoying it. No, not everybody loves it, but it's out there. It's prevalent. And a lot of people are believing that it's going to be the change of what the printing press did to the 1800s. And with that, I've done something really simple just to see what we come up with. I asked you, what are the top 10 things that a red teamer would want to be able to focus on? And to get us started with the topics, we've got our the three that Red Team already identifies with for enumeration, exploitation, and exfiltration. Now, with those tactics and capabilities of footprinting the network out and getting information on individuals, on networks, on systems, and beginning to work their way through those systems, whether it's social engineering, physical penetration testing, clouding up cameras, or walking through the front door as a substitute teacher. The 10 things that Jasper came back with was network penetration tests, web application testing, mobile application testing, social engineering testing, which is my favorite. And then we've got the next 6, which is wireless network penetration testing. You walk around with an antenna and pick up everything. Another one's going to be the physical testing, like I'd already mentioned. And the last 4 is going to lead us with cloud infrastructure penetration testing, which you heard Lasslayer bring to the table a little bit ago. It is a fun architecture, being able to utilize APIs, doing REST API calls, puts, posts, pushes, changing information. The next forefront of infiltration is simply identity access, not necessarily the controls that are based on that access. So moving on, we've got Internet of Things. Honestly, I can't get enough of all the different gizmos and gadgets that people want to plug into places. It's so much fun. But moving from there, we've got industrial control systems, things that are utilized in day-to-day operations for water treatment plants and municipalities and mud districts, or a call a couple weeks ago for a nuclear facility. And then my favorite to close out everything is going to be Red Team Operations. We're a culmination of everyone here that puts together a simulated attack against a corporation, company, or state of any sort, to bring back a report that is presentable to the public eventually, that lets everybody know these are your holes. Oh, no, we don't give that to anybody. Ethical, right? So we take that, we give it back to the client. We ensure that they understand the vulnerabilities. They understand their gaps, their risks, and how to mitigate those to the best of their ability. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and play in our next guest.
Old days. I talk about the good old days. Thanks for joining the Red Team Village live stream. My name is Troy Fridley, and the team has lovingly dubbed me Caveman. There are a number of reasons for that. One of which is when I talk about the good old days, I talk about the good old days when things were real. I'm also one of the most elderly members of the RTV core team, if it wasn't obvious. I come to the team with 20 plus years of product security experience in the protection of the hardware, software, and services that vendors sell into the enterprises or the corporations or companies that you may run into in your day-to-day, be that your job or your hobby. In addition, I also represent one of the most hated parts of the Red Team experience, upper management. But behind every successful Red Team or penetration testing team, there is a supportive management structure that makes sure that you have what you need to do your job, to clear the blockers and smooth the ripples that always seem to come up. On a personal side, when I'm hacking things, it tends to be hardware, be that embedded devices or embedded software, right? If you look behind me, you can kind of see that my own little personal mini lab, that's where I tend to spend a lot of my time. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us once again, and I look forward to talking to many of you in Vegas this year at the Red Team Village.
So that was from Caveman, and I'm excited to say that he's going to be there in person at Red Team Village, Defcon 31. And something that we're all going to be putting together is the best presentations each of us can give, the best workshops, the best practices that we can give to the table. So what I'd like to do following this is I'm going to bring in some more guests soon to follow, but we're going to take a quick intermission. So one thing that we do is we get jobs. Not necessarily Red Team Village, but we get jobs outside in the workforce. And so each one of us has our day job, which is, for the most part, ethical hacking of some sort, whether it's hardware or physical systems, or it's social engineering or corporate espionage protection, training, testing environments. We definitely want to promote that there's jobs out there. In fact, if you look at the job market, there's, let's say, 700,000 different jobs out there, and 70,000 jobs are penetration testers of varying degrees. And an example of one of those is one that was submitted recently to Red Team Village for core responsibilities, being enhanced testing by identifying novel attack patterns against systems and applications, doing offensive information security, performing dynamic and manual security assessments. Things of this nature are, second nature for many of us. And so we implore you to spend time getting your efforts together, taking your certifications, proving that you're one of the 8,000 that can pass the CEH, or one of the 400 that can do your CISO or your CISP. Another, 900 that are certified currently in CISP. So take your time, study, pass your certifications, and then turn back around into the workforce and say, hey, this is on my resume and I fit this job. I can communicate well with others. Well, that's a good skill to have. Or I like to sit in the closet and talk about random things to people. Ultimately, you want to put yourself out there for work, then these are the type of skill sets that people are looking for penetration testing. Really anything around Red Team Village. We're going to teach things that you can use for these positions. If you're curious about REST API, if you're curious about cloud security, how to bypass cloud security, and sometimes it's not that difficult. And really the best way into it is to look for those misconfigurations. So with that, I'm going to give us a video with our next individual. Goes by Nope Research.
Hey everyone, Wes Lerner, go by Nope Researcher. Thank you for joining the YouTube stream today. I really appreciate it. Been a part of the core Red Team Village for probably 3-4 years now. I love every minute about it. Kind of during Defcon and everything else, I focus on the CTF, so definitely come out to CTF, check me out there. But yeah, we appreciate you coming out to the YouTube stream and just learning about Red Team Village, everything it has to offer. So a little about me. My day-to-day job is a Red Teamer. Been doing that for probably a decade now. I think one of my primary skills that I kind of focus on is lateral movement. I really enjoy that aspect. Multiple different kind of environments, whether it's AD, analytics, cloud, all those different environments. I love just moving through them. Privilege escalation is a fun kind of skill to have. I think one of the aspects that really intrigued me about red teaming is that every day there's a different challenge, something new to learn, some obstacles to overcome, and I think the biggest part about being part of Red Team Village that I love is just getting out, meeting new people, whether it's online, virtually, at the CTF, or just wandering the conferences. So again, thank you so much for watching the YouTube stream, getting to know a little bit more about Red Team Village. I look forward to seeing you out at Defcon.
Well, thanks from Nope Research for giving his time today and letting us know that, again, outside of our jobs, outside of our entertainment, we take some time to go to the beach, snowboard, Cirque du Soleil, and many, many other things, sell ships. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring in the man of many names.
Hey, Red Team Village, I'm the man of many names, and I help out here at the Village with volunteer coordination. So if you sign up to be a volunteer, I'm the one you're going to talk to. I'm the one that's going to help you figure out the best time slots and tell you where to go and all that kind of good stuff. but you most likely know me as AG pseudo fenrir in the Red Team Village Discord. I say man of many names because for a very long time, before the Marvel movies, I went by the name Loki or Exile Loki.
Seems like I got overloaded with this little bit of a system. So I'll go ahead and interrupt for a minute with a call for workshops. So our call for workshops is open, just like our call for sponsors. If you'd like to sponsor Red Team Village, click on the link and give us your money. We're looking forward to it. Being able to present our different workshops to so many additional people. And some of the things that you can look forward to in Red Team Village this year at Defcon 31 are going to be things like we've got a little bit extra space. Everybody at Defcon had a great time, but they gave us a small space. And let's face it, we wanted more pirates. So in order to have enough space for more pirates, we requested a larger space. They more than doubled our footprint this year. So there's going to be space for more people to come in. There's going to be more workshops. We're going to need more volunteers. And so thank you, everybody that comes in to be a sponsor, everyone that wants to come in to be do a workshop to present what it is you're working on and what it is that will be the next forefront of penetration testing. And then finally, call for volunteers. As a volunteer, you don't get to wear all the costumes, but you do come in and help ensure that everyone can come in and take something away from DEF CON that is memorable and educational. So thank you for all the volunteers last year and the years before. Thank you for those that are looking to sign up for the next year.
So I had that handle for a very long time, and then the Marvel movies came out, right? Yeah, so I didn't like that because everybody thought that I took the name from the movies. They're like, oh, you love the movies. Nothing against the movies, but that's not where I got it. I was using it a long time before the movies really became popular. And so I had to change it. I kind of went without a handle for a little bit, switched between a few. But over the past few years, I've settled on AG pseudo Fenrir. One of my old bosses gave me the nickname Fenrir. I'm gonna butcher it, but I believe he was the brother of Loki, the son of Odin, maybe, right? I think that's it. And he used to call me Fenrir, and so I just added the AG pseudo to it. So the AG pseudo, of course, is if you're on Linux and you want to add a user to a group, you use the user mod, the -AG, the group that you want to put them in, and the user. So that's most likely what you'll see me as, right? For a long time, I have a pretty long background in development and building websites and web applications and things like that. So I think my best skill set, we'll say, is web app pen testing. But the other part of that I really enjoy is social engineering. You know, I always thought social engineering was awesome, right? And I wanted to know how to do it when I was a teenager and then when I was a kid. And things like the Hackers Manifesto came out. I'm kind of showing you how old I am right now, but back when I was a teenager, the Hackers Manifesto came out, and I really love the idea of learning things. I really love the idea of social engineering, being able to play different roles and things of that nature. So, you know, between web apps and I'm not a developer, by the way. I write shit code, if we're being honest, but I did do some development for a long time. You put that together with the social engineering aspect, that to me is the best part of the exploitation phase of red teaming, right? I want to be able to gain the initial access. To me, that's the best part. That's the most fun. Researching the target, coming up with different pretexts to use some sort of social engineering to get in. But as far as the exploitation goes, I love being able to get the initial access and then figure out ways to pivot. So, I think that's pretty much it. Again, AG Pseudo Fenrir in the Red Team Discord. We're looking for volunteers too, so if you want to sign up, there should be a link somewhere to sign up and volunteer for the village. We'll be in touch and we'll figure out the best time that works for you. Oh, and last layers dogs, I would rate on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't know, I'd say an 11, just because they're dogs. See you guys later. Bye.
Thanks to Fenrir or the man of many names for coming in, sending a video in for his introduction as the person that's going to herd all the cats, get the volunteers going. But in the meantime, we actually have Obli coming in to say hi to everybody. And Obli, thank you very much for coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here.
So what's something that you're working on for Red Team Village this year?
I got a bunch of things going. We're working on pulling together. I'm handling a lot of the logistics for making sure that the show comes together and that everybody's able to do what they're there for. So pulling equipment together and making sure the networking's up and going, and also making sure that the show runs smoothly once we're out there.
So to ensure that the show does run smoothly, what's pretty much the most difficult challenge there?
Well, you got a whole bunch of hackers all banging away at stuff and making sure that the network stays up and that everything is as expected. That's the biggest challenge, is just making sure that everybody's able to get the learning that they're there for. That's the whole goal of our village is making sure that we're imparting knowledge on people and that they're there to have a good time and learn something new.
If you could do one of the workshops from last year again, what would it focus on?
There was a ton of great workshops last year. I really liked the API security workshop. That's just an area that I've been focused in lately, is API security, and then also the one that was around, I think it was called Hacker Ops, which was like DevOps for hackers. So that's another area of interest for me is scripting and automation, and it was using some open source tools to pull together some really cool ways to do red teaming.
Thank you. So Obli, a question that I've been asking everybody that came in today was why their handle? How did they get it?
Obli is a shorter version of Oblivion, which was my handle all the way back to the IRC and BBS days, which dates me, I guess. But so that was like the whole, I'm 14 and this is deep thing, where it was Oblivion. And then it got shortened to Obli probably about 15 years ago. But I've been using that ever since.
So with your handle comes most of the things you've talked about as your skill set, the reason that you keep coming back to doing penetration testing and doing scripting, doing coding, doing REST APIs, and finding ways to infiltrate systems. What is your favorite thing that just it calls to you? You always find yourself going back to it. What's your favorite skill?
Gosh, I really love. Well, recently again, I really love API security. It's there are so many possibilities now that it opens up, and everything is API enabled these days, and it really is becoming a unique vector for attackers. And there's not a lot of, in my opinion, there's not as much knowledge in that space, and so anything that we can do to get more people familiar with how programmability works and how APIs work and the challenges that they present, it's what keeps me coming back. That's fun for me.
I got you. Well, to go ahead and get us off of Red Team Village for just a second and get a little more personal with you, what's the worst date you've ever been on?
What was that? What's the worst what?
What's the worst date you've ever been on?
The worst date I've ever been on. Wow. Let's see. I got set up with on a blind date, and I knew from the get-go that it was not going anywhere. And so I was finding multiple ways to try to exit that date, like pretty much from the get-go. So it was that was crazy. Yeah.
Well, Obli, thank you very much for spending some time talking with us today.
Yeah, you bet.
Telling us about Red Team Village and what we're expected to have this year. I'm looking forward to all the different workshops. I'm looking forward to herding all the cats and helping in any way that we can. So I'm going to go ahead and put this out there. Call for workshops again. Call for sponsors. The banners are going to be crossing the rest of the stream. Click one of the links. Fill out some information. Give us your money. We want it all. So thank you, Obli. Thank you for your time again.
Yeah, no problem. Before I jump off here, I do want to remind people, or at least maybe introduce, that we are going to have another badge this year at Red Team Village. It's in development right now, and we're working on pulling this amazing badge together for you. So keep an eye out for that to go pre-order. And so we're going to do like we did last year, where if you're interested in an indie badge featuring the Red Team Village, there'll be a way to purchase it prior to the con, and then you'll be able to pick it up at the con.
Excellent. Are there some other things that we're putting out to purchase prior to the conference as well?
That's the only one that I know of, but we might have some additional things come up, as we build towards Defcon 31.
Awesome. Well, I know there's plenty of ideas in the think tank, and taking the charge of all of that is Omar, with doing his administrative side, giving us all the guidance and direction, letting us, spread our wings and figure something out, even if it's off the edge of a cliff. No, Omar, thank you so much, Obli. And if you wouldn't mind to stay on for a little while with me and Omar, welcome to today's Red Team Village live stream.
Thank you. You're going to ask me what is my worst date?
What is your worst date?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Well, that's not something I'm going to ask you today, but maybe in the future after some beers. But actually, a question for you. What can you do in 60 seconds that most people can't do in an hour?
According to my wife, nothing. Absolutely. Actually, to be honest with you, I hate the way that I cannot multitask. Probably now with ChatGPT, probably I can multitask a little bit better, but it's incredible. And I know that you've been asking a few people, hey, what are your skills? I have no skills whatsoever. And the reason is I am, I guess, a little bit more linear whenever I do tasks, but I'm horrible multitasking. So in 60 seconds, I probably can I don't know, take a drink and think of it a little bit. But at the end of the day, I joking aside, I really like automation. I really like it's like Obli. I'm here that if I do two things, one thing twice, I try to automate it, right? So for me, in order to kind of scale at that, I guess, speed, is for me to try to figure out, what I cannot do ever again by automating it, right? So, but
What's an automation that you do or have done recently?
recently, wow, yeah. So, well, actually, I cannot go into the details of the one recently because that's not out. But
Okay.
I am the chair of this standard called the Common Security Advisory Framework, and basically, it's going to become an ISO standard, and been creating some tools around that, and it's becoming a little bit popular because it's part of the. I know that this is being recorded, but the executive order, which passed last year, and it's going to be used for something that we call VEX, the Vulnerability and Exploitability Exchange, and it's how to interrogate whether it's vendors or open source components into what are the vulnerabilities that are present based on the list of ingredients, which is an SBOM. So I've been trying to figure out how the industry as a whole can actually automate these. What I do for a living nowadays on my team, we publish security advisories, and I always make a joke that I should be fired if a human is reading my advisory, and the whole industry has to automate this stuff because it's the only way to scale, right? So a couple of the tools that I've been doing and I've been putting into the GitHub repositories is the way to get the KEF catalog from CISA, prioritize vulnerabilities, and then translate that into dynamic advisory through this thing called the Vulnerability Exploitability Exchange. So, anyways, I can bore you to death in that, but that's one example. Yeah.
So, Omar, one thing that came across recently was that you've written a couple books here and there, and
Door stops.
What's this?
Door stoppers.
Door stoppers. Yes. No comment. But inside of this, there's this guy that's the victim in an attack, and his name is Omar. Just is that a name that you made up? How did you come up with that name for the victim in this scenario for Security Plus?
Yeah, because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. I'm always the victim, right? I'm victimizing there. No. Joke aside, actually, to be honest with you, I don't know why I put myself a victim there, but yeah, I like to contribute. I guess writing boring books, whether certifications like Pentest Plus, Security Plus, CEH, the CCIE security, the Escort book, and things like that. But it's the nerd of me of not having any more names, I guess out there. But if you have any other suggestions, let me know.
Hey, you can put mine in there any day. So
I'm gonna do that.
That'll work. So, question for you both about Red Team Village.
Mm-hmm.
With this year for Defcon 31 coming up, what is it that you want to bring to the table, or what is it that you want to see occur at Defcon 31 for Red Team Village?
Yeah, I can start. I guess what I want is to focus the Red Team. Well, we want all collectively to focus the Red Team Village into education, right? We started a little bit of proving the grounds during the COVID era because everything was virtual and we had a lot of 1-hour presentation and so on, right? But the most popular part about the village now that we're looking to be back on site is the education part of hands-on exercises, mini workshops, and by far that's by feedback from the attendees, this is what they love the most. So this year we're going to continue doing that, and that's the reason that we have the call for workshops and so on. We're already working with a few folks, to actually enhance the stations. We call it stations. There are mini workshops that you rotate every 30 minutes. And if you have plans to go to DEFCON, I strongly suggest to actually stop by. This is the best way that you can taste different concentrations within a red team environment, whether it's if you want to automate something that we were talking about in a red team environment, like if you want to do automatic command control, type of obfuscation techniques from web apps to OSINT. I mean, we have them all, and I strongly suggest for people to rotate and not concentrate on one. Right. I know that we were talking about also things like API security. That was very popular last year. Hopefully, we'll do that again this year. And so that's the goal, is to actually have a learning environment that everybody can collaborate with, and they can also network. One of the best satisfactions that I ever had, or I still have, at Defcon is whenever somebody comes to me, because I'm getting old, right? And I say, hey, you introduced me to this, 6 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 15 years ago, and now I have a job in here. And as a matter of fact, I lead a team, and I'm hiring people, and I'm coming to the village to see if I can find some the talent. And I was like, holy crap, that was 15 years ago. He was a volunteer in other parts of Defcon. The village is fairly new at Defcon, but Obli has been at Defcon for many, many, many years, probably more than me. And so that's what the satisfaction is, that you take something home as far as education, and also even potential opportunities, right, at a later point. So anyways, I stop. So I talk a lot, probably.
No, that's what I'm excited about as well. And you had mentioned before that we have a little bit more space this year, actually almost double the amount of space that we had last year, which just affords us more opportunity to put more workshops together. So, and then we don't have to worry about, trying to shuttle people in and out in the limited space that we had. It just allows us to give more people the opportunity to sit a workshop. And that's exciting. That's what I really love about the Red Team Village, is the opportunity to, again, allow people to experience the techniques that these experts are putting together, and do it in a way that is, interactive, and they can actually get some hands-on with the software. That's awesome. And the fact that, again, that we have more space and we can put together more workshops is just going to be icing on the cake.
I agree.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to all of the different workshops that are going to be coming to the table, all of the new technology that may be coming in to present. This is what they're working on. This is something that we can learn as a collective, and what we can share out with other people. And so there are a few other questions that are coming in from other individuals that are watching now. And one of them I'd like to ask is, how's this whole thing with competitions? Is there going to be a competition? We haven't talked about it at all this session so far.
Yeah, there will be a CTF. We will have more announcements, because we're working on a few contests, and even within the mini workshops that we're going to be doing, there may be some competitions, mini CTFs as well. So stay tuned. We don't want to spoil a few things that we have in the works, but definitely there will be a CTF. We'll be in the contest area as well. Yeah.
You actually bring up a good point, Omar. The call for sponsors is not just for funding, but also prizes. So if there's a company that's developing something new that they want to share with the world and get out there, they can be a sponsor to provide some of those trinkets, knickknacks, and things that assist in penetration testing, and use those as prizes for some of these capture the flags that are being put up by the workshops.
Yeah, that's a good point. And actually, I want to take a moment, and I'm looking this way because I have a monitor up there, but I want to take a moment to echo what I think Obli and you two were saying is, big thank you to the volunteers. Without you, we were not able to do anything. Second, big thank you to our speakers, right? And the call for workshops still open, and it's going to remain open for a little while. And especially our sponsors, right? You have been amazing throughout all these years, not only monetarily, but as you mentioned, with prizes for the CTF, with people volunteering from your staff. So thank you. But more importantly, I guess it's not because I'm in front of you, but the core team. If it wasn't for you, this village will not exist, right? So thank you from the bottom of my heart. From Traveler to last, so Savannah, Danielle, Greg, you, Obli. I mean, the list goes on and on. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, right? So just wanted to echo that. Yeah.
Thank you, Omar, and thank you both of you for your time today. I do have one final question, and unfortunately, Wolf's not going to be here to work with this, but to answer it. But what are some things that the volunteers will be doing this year to help?
So I can start here. So the volunteers are critical to the success of the village. They do everything from helping the presenters out to monitoring in the village and how many people are coming in and going out and the traffic and all of that. Helping out with the info desk and just helping people find a workshop or knowing what this when the schedule is available. So lots of opportunities for volunteers to step up and they're all critical to the success of the village.
Yeah, I echo that too. And one thing is that even though you may say I'm only a volunteer, you're part of the village and you're part of the success of the village. Second one is, since we're gonna have these mini workshops and rotating people around, you may even have the opportunity to actually lead some of the technical guidance. We will train some of you based on the specific technology or the specific scenario that we're doing, and you may be able to even present for a little while, right? Or help somebody whenever they're presenting. So we need volunteers for pretty much everything, crowd control, to help other volunteers, to actually help with the line. And typically, even though we have double the space this time, we're expecting a lot of people. So yeah, that's what we need the most. So
Absolutely. With 30,000 people visiting Defcon last year, Defcon 30, we're going to need some assistance in ensuring that as many people as possible can come through the village at Red Team and learn something, take something away that makes them better at what it is that they do, whether it's social engineering, which is my favorite, or hardware hacking. So thank you both for being a part of today's introduction for Red Team Village, being a part of our first live stream for the foreseeable future. We're looking at putting these out every 2 weeks, so see those announcements coming up soon. And I'm looking forward to our opportunities and to determine what color Omar's going to dye his hair this year.
No comment.
So with that, I'm going to leave us with our outro and thank you everyone for participating, for all of the core team that came in, gave me a video to ensure that I could present something to the people that are going to be watching this video or are watching currently, to put out all the information and be as open as we can with everything that we're doing and planning, whether it's badges, even though people don't need no stinking badges. It's something that they can have a great time with. So thank you, Omar. Thank you, Obli, Laz Slayer, Revnik, Caveman, everybody. Thank you again. No pre-search. If you're out there, we'll see you on the waves.
Peace.